Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes footage, bonus episodes, shout-outs, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect.
We want to take a minute and talk to you about ExpressVPN. Most people don't know that your internet provider, many websites, and even apps collect all of your data and then sell it to whoever's willing to pay for it. They know what websites you visited, what products you've bought, what products you looked at and did not buy, and some people can even copy your passwords and usernames and then access your private accounts. ExpressVPN encrypts all of your data and sends it from their servers, so no one knows where you are. With ExpressVPN, people may think you're in Bangladesh when you're really in Chicago. They would think you're in South America when you're really in Detroit. ExpressVPN protects you from hackers who try to steal your information, and also from spies who try to use your data for their own nefarious purposes. ExpressVPN also allows you unrestricted access to all parts of the internet. How does it work? ExpressVPN uses the best-in-class encryption. Whenever you are connected to ExpressVPN, every piece of data going in and out of your devices goes through a security crypted tunnel and cannot be seen. Not by the government, not by hackers, not by your internet service provider, not even by ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN also employs IP masking. Every device has a unique IP address, which can be traced back to you. When you use ExpressVPN, your connection gets routed through one of their 3,000 plus servers, hiding your real IP address and replacing it with one of their own. This allows you to browse the web truly anonymously. With servers in 94 different countries, you have a wide variety of places you can choose to appear from. ExpressVPN also provides 24/7 customer support with live chat, which means your question will be answered within seconds, not hours or days. It is also one of the easiest apps to use. Just open the app, and with one click, you're protected. It is also physically impossible for any of ExpressVPN's servers to store logs of any customers. And ExpressVPN is a top-rated VPN provider, rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, Wired, TechRadar, and many more. Just go to expressvpn.com/Cory to get 3 extra months free with a 12-month plan. This is a limited-time offer for the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver listeners. Again, get 3 months free with a 12-month plan. Go to expressvpn.com/Cory. With ExpressVPN, you can protect all of your digital devices, your computers, your phones, your tablets, everything, and have no more border restrictions. Again, that's expressvpn.com/Cory.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm laughing at this little toothpaste thing that you have here. This is not a product placement. It's just wasabi toothpaste.
Yeah. You don't use wasabi toothpaste?
No. My one real interaction with wasabi, well, I've had many with sushi, but a friend of mine thought it was avocado on her plate and ate the entire piece of wasabi and was not feeling great for a few hours.
I had college friends come out when I first moved out here, and you take them to sushi, and they go, "What's that?" No, or they said, "Is that guacamole?" I go, "Sure." And he just grabbed the whole chunk of it.
So brutal. Why would you do that?
It's funny.
Well, it's like such a guy thing.
I know it is, yeah.
I actually felt bad for my friend. And you guys were like, oh.
Now you learn.
How are you? Did you have a good weekend?
I had an interesting weekend.
Oh.
So Friday, as we talked, I had 2 surgical procedures done on my feet.
Oh, yes, that's
right.
Because
I had trauma to my large toenails.
Did you take pictures of them? Can we see that? Is it right here?
You're not going to put a picture of my toes on the thing. But it's the old story. Guy walks into a podiatrist with 10 toenails, walks out with 8. And unfortunately, that's not a joke. So he said, you can't walk for a while. My feet are bandaged up. I'm in these special orthopedic shoes for a while. And, well, by the way, I now have these.
Oh, my God.
And I will tell you, I'll put a picture of them on the screen.
You did not cut the toes out of your tennis shoes.
Because I'll also put a picture of the shoes they wanted me to wear.
What?
And I was not wearing those. I had to wear them for a show, and the shoes are so wide that they touch 3-foot pedals at the same time, so that was gone. And Irina wouldn't leave the house with me with these shoes on because she felt embarrassed. I said, nobody will notice. She goes, everybody. I said, if you don't look at them and don't say anything.
Notice.
So you've been here for 20 minutes and have not noticed. Right. So.
But what's funny is that, you know, Are you in pain?
No, yes.
You are?
Yes, very much.
Actually, I will say this. The feet and the hands, because that's where all the nerves end, they're very, very painful. And when you get a paper cut, it hurts, right? So I sympathize with you. However, having said that, I had 48 hours of labor and no medication. So
22 years ago.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so I had it done Friday around 3:30. I get home, it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock Friday, and I'm in the bedroom, and the dog Tinks wants to go out. I said, Irina, can you walk the dog? Can't you walk him? I just had surgery on my feet. I'm not supposed to be walking. Oh, how long are you going to milk that for? It happened today, like 4 hours ago. She's like, well, get over it. It's already done. I'm like, really?
Meanwhile, women would have had the entire house clean.
Oh, my God, yeah.
That's funny. That is so funny. Well, that's painful. It is painful to have both your toenails ripped off. I'm very, very sorry that had to happen. However, having said that,
the good news is
it's been bothering you for a while, and you figured out what it was. So
the good news is they grow back in 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months to grow toenails.
Labor pains.
I told the guy you could grow a human in 9 months. Full brain stem, brain, body, fingernails, toenails.
Weird.
Yeah.
It does take a long time.
Weird.
It does. I lost a nail once, and it did take a long time. So
let's know with you.
Oh, well. Just so many
procedures?
wonderful. No. Trying to stay out of the hospital these days. What's new? Well, I have a very dear friend of mine on the show today, and I'm excited to see him. I see him, randomly around town, but we've been friends for a very long time, and it is John Mendoza.
Yes.
The actor and comedian, and he's very funny. When we'd drop our kids off at school, we'd all see each other at the corner bakery for coffee, and he'd have me in stitches almost every day. So
he's very, very funny.
He's very funny. He's been around a long time. He's been on the Jay Leno show, Johnny Carson. He was in The Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men, Yes Dear, NYPD Blue, Men Behaving Badly, The Second Half, Our List, Grown Ups, Dharma and Greg. The list goes on and on and on. He is a seasoned veteran in this business and one of my favorite comedians.
Well, I can give you some pointers.
I know. Well, I brought him in to give you some.
Okay,
I wasn't going to say anything.
No,
he's just one of the most wonderful people, very funny and very kind, and I do love him dearly. So I am grateful he decided to come down.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will see you in a few minutes, and as soon as you get here.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
And okay.
So, Bob, I'm very excited today to try this drink. It is called Brizo.
Brizo, okay.
Yes, and it is a health drink, and it has a lot of natural ingredients. Two of them are apple cider vinegar, which I love, and Manuka honey, which is straight from New Zealand. There's only 3 grams of sugar in this. That is amazing. This one is actually called Berry Beet. This one is pineapple turmeric. Oddly enough, I just put turmeric in my coffee this morning. Yes, I can taste the turmeric in that. These are all really good. I predict this being a big, huge hit. These are fantastic. It's on Amazon. You can get these on Amazon.
And they come in variety packs, or you can buy 1 pack of a single thing, or you can get the 4-pack.
Oh, no, I'm going to go on Amazon and get these. Brizos. These are fantastic. Thank you. Well, they knocked it out of the park on this. Brizo.
It's been a year and a half, so yes.
0 fat, 0 cholesterol, barely any carbohydrates, 3 grams of sugar. It has vitamin D, which is, right now it's big. We should all be taking vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, and vitamin C. Done. I'm getting this. This is a fantastic drink. Thank
Glad
you.
You like it.
Brizo. 4 different flavors. Berry beet, pineapple turmeric, ginger lemon, and pomegranate hibiscus. Wonderful. Tastes great.
This episode is brought to you in part by Bailbag.org. That's Bailbag.org. Founded by Aaliyah Cruz, former inmate and now a teacher in local juvenile detention centers and state prisons. Bailbag.org provides recently released inmates with a duffel bag filled with essential items to help them rejoin and become a productive member of society. The items include a long-sleeve shirt, undershirt, black pair of pants, Oxford shoes, water-resistant rain jacket, body wash, shampoo, conditioner, toilet brush, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, razors, a full-zip tracksuit, running shoes, all in a large duffel bag, plus a planner or journal equipped with a list of local resources. The recidivism rate of recently released inmates is approximately 65%. With Bailbag.org, that rate will drop significantly. Please visit Bailbag.org and donate whatever you can to help this worthy cause. let's start the show.
Yes, let's start the show.
Before we start the show,
Okay.
You had to lean into that bucket to do that?
Well, if I'm back here, then I have to mix it up in a sound, so when I lean in here, it's better.
John, that's brilliant, because that is a bucket.
For me, it's a
Stops
bucket.
from
It's
hearing
like
you
Johnny
guys.
Carson didn't even have
Okay.
a bucket that big.
Well, yeah, but you guys speak so loud that it gets on bleeds into my mic.
Yes.
So what I was going to say before I was interrupted by both the guest and the host, you've been in the business 27 years. You've now done 54, 55 of these shows. You see how he's sitting? So he's got the two-shot, kind of gets him front on.
Well, he's been in the business for
longer, right? So you
20,
can learn a lot.
28
from him.
years.
So you want to
Next year, you'll be fine.
you want to turn yourself so that the two-shot gets you.
Yes, I know. I've got the two-shot. Okay, first of all, I want to
by the way,
introduce my
any
guest.
cue I give her,
Uh-huh.
she'll speak out loud. What's that? Go longer?
Today,
What's on the show today, Cory?
I'm very excited. We already did a little intro, and I introduced you, Mr. Mendoza, but my dear friend, John Mendoza. For those of you who are on audio,
Is it audio?
Oops.
well, it's audio and video,
Okay.
but I don't even know how to introduce you because you are a dear friend of mine and I love you so much. And there's not an introduction that could be big enough for you. You're just, to me, you're one of my favorite people.
Thank you.
But,
I think you're done.
okay, peace out. Drop the
Yeah.
mic.
Rodney Dangerfield would do it. Here's a man who needs no introduction.
Hey,
Exactly.
hey, enough of that. I gotta go now.
Exactly. Well, I will say, though, for our listeners, that you're an actor and a comedian, father, a friend, and one of the most talented people in the business that I know. And I'm going to list, you've been on Jay Leno, Johnny Carson, The Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men, Yes Dear, NYPD Blue. I'm just going through, some of your accolades on and accomplishments on IMDb, but honestly, you really are truly one of the funniest men I know. So thank you for being here today.
You know 9 men.
I was going to say, you don't know a lot of people that.
Well, you're in the top
you.
of those people.
You're very sweet.
We get to kind of catch up around town, and I've known you for now, I don't know, 13
Something
years.
like that, yeah.
A long
It's been a long
time.
time.
But introduce his full name.
Better.
John Mendoza, I said. It's John Mendoza is in the house.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've worked that room.
Yeah.
I know. Tell me what you've been up to. Let's talk about you. Oh, sorry, but first we have a word of the day. It's a word of the day, John. Actually, I think John's going to like this.
Okay.
Okay. So here's a word of the day. I'm going to play it. Siri's going to speak it. I'll spell it. You got to tell me what it is. It is a phobia.
I thought we were getting rid of the phobias.
Oh, I'm sorry. You thought wrong.
It's been waiting all morning to say that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what my favorite thing Cory has said ever in my life?
I love Bob. That was for Bob Zaney.
Okay.
Nobody knows that.
That's all
Now
that
they
matters.
do.
Coulrophobia.
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 Coulro phobia, which is a very common phobia.
Coulrophobia.
See, L-O?
Coulro. Coulro.
Oh, I know.
You know it?
Do you?
You take a guess, though.
No, I'm not afraid of Japanese food.
Okay. I was going to say fear of colors. You are so annoying.
No, but it is one of the most common fears, and it is the
Marriage.
who's the guy? Phil on Married with Children. Not Married with Children. Modern Family had it. Because Cam used to always dress up as
Straight man?
Fizbo. Who's
I don't
Fizbo
know.
on Modern Family? Clowns.
Oh,
Fear
yeah.
of clowns.
Fear of clowns.
Oh, yeah, that's a real serious fear.
I'm
Some
telling you.
people jump into like other people's arms when they see clowns.
I've never had that fear. I find I know so many people that have that
Yeah.
fear. It's
Did
just
you grow up
not
watching Clarence?
Clarence.
The clown? Clarence the Clown, Howdy Doody?
Yeah.
Okay, So in the 50s, clowns were great.
Yeah.
Then they made, I forget the name of the movie. It was like Man-Eating Clowns from Outer Space, where the clowns were aliens and eating people, which was a great B movie.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody became afraid of clowns. And then It. Who's the Pennywise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Cory, you should talk too.
No, I just I literally we talked about
love
this.
your dress.
Thank you so
Very
much.
pretty.
You know what? Forever 21. $20. No kidding. I have had to go get some things that I don't sweat buckets in here, so this is kind of one of them. But thank you, John. Thank you.
It's 73 in here.
Okay, well, today.
Well, 73 where the thermometer is.
I want to dive into John Mendoza's life.
Wait, I should start the timer.
So,
Okay, go.
because you have a fascinating career.
A fun career.
A fun career and a fascinating career. And so I want to go back to the beginning.
The beginning. I started out in a little a restaurant called Tony's. On Saturday night, they would do stand-up comedy there in Manhattan, like 20th Street and Park Avenue, something like that. Excuse me. And it was one of those things where I went there and had a total blast. It was one of those things where I went, and if I would have bombed, I would have never done it again.
Really?
Never, ever done it again. I was the shyest person I ever met in my life.
That's hard to believe, John.
Oh, yeah. I mean, growing up, I actually went back to my grammar school reunion. And this girl was bragging to this nun, and she's going, John has got his own TV show, and he's done this, and he's done concerts, and blah, 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 blah. And the nun just went, nah. No way. The John Mendoza I know was the shyest kid I've ever had in 35 years.
Wow. And yet, you picked literally one of the hardest things to do in this industry. We've talked about this before. It's very difficult to go stand up in front of, tons of people you don't know. And
actually, I just find it absolutely the opposite. It's the easiest thing. I don't have to depend on anybody else. Acting is the most difficult thing to do because you have to remember stuff that other people wrote, and then you have to share it with other people. You have to depend on their timing, their craziness and stuff like that. Stand up, I get to say whatever I want when I want. You do a Tonight Show. I remember doing a Tonight Show one time, and I this bit wasn't working, and I just went off of that, and I started doing another bit. And when I finished, the producer came over to me and said, John, you didn't do the 3 jokes that you promised you'd do. And I said, well, it wasn't working.
And that's the thing about feeling a room. You have to know what you're going to do.
Bob Zaney would say, after you're in the business a couple of years, you get to know how to work the room.
Yeah.
And it's fun. They can't wait to get up there and you just talk.
By the way, I just want to let you know, when we interviewed Bob Zaney, I think one of the first people I talked about was you.
Oh, really?
I did. I literally talked about you because I just adore you.
He's not a big fan.
Thank you.
No.
That's okay.
Yes, he is.
I know he is.
Yes, he
Nothing
is.
but praise for you.
I got 3 ex-wives that not a fan either.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, you have me beat. Okay, well, props to you. That's a fist bump.
One was to get out of the Army.
Really? Ooh, tell us that story.
We were stoned in a park in New York one night. I was like 18 years old, and we're all hanging out, and somebody said, if you're married, you won't get drafted. It's 1969. And I went, and this girl turned to me, she said, you want to go in the Army? I said, no. She said, I'll marry you. And that we got on a train, on Amtrak, we went down to Baltimore, and we got married that night, spent the night, came back. The day man landed on the moon, like July 20-something or other, I got my draft notice. August 1st, went in the Army. I come out of the Army, about 3 years later, I bump into this, I'm in a bar, and this girl comes up to me, she says, we need to get a divorce. And I looked at her, I said, who are you?
I haven't seen you in 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, fill out the paperwork. Go for it.
So it didn't work that the fact that you guys got married.
I never saw her again, except for that time in the bar.
No, it didn't work
so
because you got
funny.
drafted even though
Oh, no, they didn't. No. And, thank God I did get drafted because the VA has been, been wonderful for me.
Yeah.
Did you go to Vietnam?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Action?
Yeah. I spent 99% of my time in Korea smoking opium. I went to Vietnam for a second and was able to get out of there and went to Korea and just sat there and I worked in a laundry warehouse. And I just, the folding sheets, the Koreans did all the work. We just sat there and hung out. And I would smoke opium and bowls of opium like crazy. And when I came home, I had a horrible drug habit, to the point where I'm ODing on heroin one night in a blizzard. And I'm in this blizzard just naked walking in because it's so my skin is just I can't get cool enough. And they pull me into a cop car, picks me up, takes me into the emergency room. As going to emergency room, it says Morrisania Hospital. I thought to myself, I'm not dying in the hospital I was born in.
Wow.
That's the only thing that saved my life that night.
Things you don't and did not know about John Mendoza.
Huge heroin addict.
Number one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge.
So then how did you end up breaking that? Because that's obviously very addictive.
I honestly, I don't remember. I just came out of the hospital and didn't do it, and still smoked pot and drank like a fish for a long time. And
You had stopped doing heroin after that hospital stay?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point then after that did you say, no, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian and an actor?
I went to a comedy club, Catch a Rising Star in New York, and saw David Brenner on stage. And
Great comic out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
yes, and said, I want to do that. And I told David this story many, many years. And I'd been accomplished and stuff. We were having dinner with a couple of people. And I said to him, you're the reason I got into stand-up. And he looked at me and told me to go F myself. And I was like, damn, dude.
Well, but that's like...
I'll tell you a Brenner story. He lied about his age 9 years.
Really?
Yes, he was 9. Everyone said when he died, he was like 82 or something like that. And everyone thought he was like in the 70s or something like that. And he lied. And someone said to him, why 9 years? And he went, everyone lies 10 years.
Yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia, and he was around the 70s. He was just amazing.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Most people do, I think, in this business, so they just just say they're a little younger.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't, but Bob's like to out my age. So then...
Don't out your age. 104.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I'd say you're Cory Gray.
So I went to a comedy club, saw that, and it took me a long time. It took me about 2-3 years to get the nerve up to go and do stand-up.
Really?
Yeah, like I told you, I was really shy.
Did you take classes, or is this something that you... Because you do write a lot of... You write all your material, but you're also been contracted by studios and producers and directors to write their material as well.
Yes, yeah.
By the way, there's another comic who's top of the game comic. His first time he stayed in the car and never went into the club.
Oh, many times.
Second time he went and he stayed in the audience. And I think the third time he went up, it was like 1:45 at night. There was only about 9 people, and he did okay. And then he was a Saturday Night Live. He's been in movies, TV, very, very famous guy. But yeah, his first couple times, I wouldn't go anywhere near there.
Oh yeah, I lived that life. I mean, I would go, and I remember the first couple of times I went. You didn't have a name. You picked a number out of a hat at this small club. I forget the name of it. Good Times or something like that. And they would go number 23. And number 23 would get up and start telling jokes. And I remember the first couple of times they yelled out my number, and I just sat there. And then when I guess he left, and then number 25, and no, it was nerve-wracking.
Is that because you sensed out the room and you thought, this is going to be a tough room? Because that's got to be daunting, being backstage and hearing, if a room's not really fully coming together.
True. But you were sitting in the room. There was no outside. And then I went to Harlem, and we would do stand-up on Wednesday nights in an all-black club in Harlem. And it was just basically blacks and Puerto Rican comics and maybe one or two non-minorities. And they would come and heckle you like crazy. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, because the energy is so great when they do that.
Yeah.
It gets you thinking, and then you can go, banter with them.
Yeah.
That's so great.
But I was very lucky. I started when comedy it was just on late 70s, and like Seinfeld started and everybody like that. And there was only like 3 comedy clubs in New York, and you couldn't get stage time. I mean, the guys in front of us were really, really good, and they were really polished. A couple of my friends and I, we used to go to a Baskin Robbins on Broadway. And we used to stand on Broadway there in front of the Baskin Robbins where people would get their ice cream. And we would do our acts right in front of them. And I swear they only gave us money because we were so pathetic. It was so horrible. It was like, here, just go home. Just go do something else. My friends chipped in. My friends chipped in like $5,000 for me to get therapy. They thought I had a nice job. I worked at Seagram's. I had a nice job working in a sample room. I had all the alcohol you could possibly dream of. And I had a 9-to-5 job, and I had a nice life. And I quit and became a stand-up comic, and my friends all gave me like a check for $5,000. Said, "Here, go get help. You need help." And
There's a comic,
But, you know-
Adam Richmond, during COVID, who every other Saturday had a house or a friend's house in West Hollywood, and they would open up the lawn, and he'd have 6 comics come in. Everybody would grab chairs 6 feet apart on the lawn, and he would just do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you and
I don't know 6 people.
I don't know if I can say this, but you and your very good friend, who a lot of people know, you can drop his name if you want to, but you guys, you really love what you do, because you, even in between all the shows that you do, you'll go to the little, towns and perform at, the tiny comedy club just because you love what you do.
Yeah. Well, I did. Since COVID, I'm not sure anymore.
Well, all of us are kind of shackled.
I don't remember my act at all.
Really? I do.
Yeah.
I know all of it. In fact, I went through all of your videos the other night, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited.
You're coming on the road with me then.
Okay, no problem. I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Tell me about Johnny Carson. How did he discover you? What was that like? That was, the David Letterman, Jay Leno. You've done it all.
Yeah. Tonight's show, I got a lot of my stuff by mistake. And I'll give you, I'll go to Letterman first.
Okay.
There was, I never wanted to audition for Letterman. There was a guy named Bob Morton. Bob Morton would come into the comedy clubs and stuff like that and see. He actually went to Penn.
He was the producer? Or?
Yeah, he was the exec producer. And now sells real estate in Beverly Hills. And I didn't want to audition too soon for that because I had done something earlier and auditioned too soon, and they never wanted to see me again. So Letterman, I kept staying away. So he came into a comedy club one night and saw 5 acts, and instead of leaving, he went to the bathroom. And I was the act after the 5 acts. And as he came out of the bathroom, he sat down, he watched me, and then he came after I came off, he said, "Hey, you want to do Letterman soon?"
Really?
And I went, "Yeah, sure." So those 5 guys didn't get it. I got it.
Wow.
Talk about being in the right bathroom at the right time.
Okay, so here's another one like that. I was dating this girl, had a fight with her. She lived on like 79th Street or something like that in New York City. And we had this fight, and I left and had no place to go. It was a rainy Friday night, and I went to Catch a Rising Star, a comedy club on 77th Street. And I went there, and the MC said, "John, none of the acts that are supposed to be here are here. They're all stuck in traffic.
Can you
Go
do
on
2 hours?"
Pretty much, exactly. Just get on stage, and I'll wave you when someone gets here. And I go on stage, and I do my act, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in about 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, and a comic comes in, and I walk off stage, and the guy that's the producer for the Tonight Show, Jim McCauley, comes up to me and said, "Hey," he said, "you want to do the Tonight Show?" And I was like, "Oh, the most coveted spot back in the 80s was Thanksgiving night."
Oh, really? Okay.
Because everybody wanted that Thanksgiving night because everybody saw it. It went from like 5 million people watching it to like 10 million people watching it because all the families would sit down and hanging out and stuff like that. That was the most coveted spot. So the guy says to me, "You want to do the Tonight Show on Thanksgiving night?" And I said, "No." And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. I said, "No, I'm not ready."
Whoa.
I didn't know you were in the audience. I was just doing the spot to kill time.
Oh my God.
He said, "But no one's ever said no to me."
Yeah.
And I said, "No." I said, "I need 3 sets. I always want to be 3 sets ahead of myself. I don't want to go into Tonight Show one time, do it, and then bomb the second time and third time, and I have a third spot. I have a program." And he said to me, "Okay, fine, pretty cool. You can do whatever you want to do." And 6 months later, I came out to LA, went to the Comedy Magic Club, and I auditioned for him again and got it.
Wow.
He said, "No."
Yeah, Jim Carrey wound up doing it, and Carson was not a fan of Jim Carrey at that moment.
Really?
Really?
He didn't get the impressions. Jim was doing impressions at that point.
When you get a set ready, how long does it take you to develop a set, and how long is a set for you?
A set is the guy named Steve Landsberg, who is the one who introduced me to Brenner. He said everyone sets their set for 6 minutes. Set yours for 5 minutes.
That's for a Tonight Show.
For a Tonight Show spot. And so for me, that would be about 18 or 19 jokes.
Okay. How long does it take to polish that and get it ready?
Months. Months. The bad thing about doing Tonight back in the 80s when I was doing a lot of the Letterman Tonight shows and other shows and stuff like that, you lived in a 6-minute bubble. And the fortunate part was you would get a joke out on the Tonight Show, and you would get a good laugh off of it. 2 weeks later, you would wind up a tag with it, and you go, "Oh, damn! Now I have to." So I was lucky enough to do it again, and I would sneak in that joke again.
What does a tag with it mean?
The second half of the joke.
Oh, gotcha.
You would get sort of like the punchline to the joke, but then all of a sudden you would even be able to top that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what happened after that, and. Yeah.
What do you...
Hold on. Give Cory names of 3 things that in the comedy business, like callback. Everybody knows what a callback is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what a callback is, right?
I do,
Okay.
yes.
Can you think of like other things in tags that Cory can guess to see what they... I just put you on the spot, but...
Oh, no. No, they're all simple, stupid things. A 9-year-old could probably...
Bob, maybe you can think...
More, do you know?
Don't be too sure.
Huh?
All right.
These are for you, Bob.
Do you have 3?
No, I don't. I'm not in the business.
No, I would just use that they were simple.
There's a schmegel and that's
So I got my spots, and then my first HBO special, I was at the Yankee game. And I had an audition for an HBO special at the comic strip, and I didn't want to do it. It was Yankees in Toronto, and it was like when Toronto was really happening at that moment, and it was like a 1-0 game, and I got a 10 o'clock spot, and Kramer from
Yes.
Michael Richards.
No, the real Kramer,
Oh, the real Kramer.
Kenny Kramer, and Larry David and I are at the game.
Oh.
Oh, like Kramer, Kaufman, and Klein? No. Brightman, Kaufman, and Klein. Never mind.
Oh no, that's the writing group. That's the other
No, the
people.
guy they modeled
Friends.
Kramer after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was actually Larry's next door neighbor, and we the 3 of us used to play golf all the time. And so we were at the Yankee game, and Larry and Kenny kept going, go do this. I'm not going to get it. Who cares? Every comic, what it was the 10th annual Young Comedian Special. And it was one comic from New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, Boston, and San Francisco. I said, I'm not going to get this. Every comic in New York is going to get it. And they went, get out of here. So in like the 7th or 8th inning, they threw me out of the stadium. And I got into a cab, went down to the comic strip, and I got it.
Well, you luck out a lot.
I have been very, very, very lucky. I've had some. For every lucky thing I've had, I have doubled down and done stupid things.
Well,
we don't tell those stories.
You know, sometimes when you don't chase something too, it just kind of inherently comes to you. If you're thinking about it, or if you this is what you want to do. You don't necessarily have to chase it.
Yeah.
I think I mean, it's good to put your hand to the plow and do the work.
Yeah.
Tell me about your first audition, because I love when people come on and I want to hear about their first audition. It doesn't have to necessarily be for comedy. Maybe just your acting job. Everybody has a La La Land story, right?
There's one that stands out. Again,
one.
Larry David in the story. We're going to go play golf, and I have an audition for a movie, in which now is Trump Towers in New York, but at the time it was Paramount. And so I go to this audition, and I get a call back for it, and I've never gotten a call back for anything. I mean, so I got to go in, and they hold me over, and it was for this movie, and there's this girl, and she's got holes in her pants. It was like when they were like really fancy jeans, ripped jeans and stuff like that.
Those are like $400 jeans now.
Yeah.
But it fascinated me, and I was playing really a scummy guy. It was a bunch of guys that would like wear members only jackets and hang out at the track. And I'm looking at her legs, and I could see the shine of her legs through her pants, and I'm like. And in the middle of the audition, I just put my hands down her pants.
Wait, what? You mean the hole on her knee?
In the knee, yeah. I just put them in and started playing with it. And she like freaked out. And all of a sudden, it dawned on her, that's this guy's character.
Yeah.
And it was like...
What was the movie?
David Johansen wound up getting it. Richard Dreyfuss was... he was a gambler.
Oh. Wow.
Another rookie mistake.
Richard Dreyfuss.
55 episodes in.
It
Well,
took you
you know.
55 episodes to screw that
I
up?
thought I
No,
turned
she's
it
done
off.
almost every episode for 50
Okay.
Only a couple. You've been good for the
Only a
last
couple.
3 episodes.
Okay, so then what is your favorite? I'm asking you all the questions that I don't really get to ask you because when I see you, we don't talk about this stuff.
No.
We just usually it's either at King's or
Kings.
yeah, Kings or Kings. Well, that's not true. I was saying in my pre-show that we used to drop our kids off and then we'd all see each
Sure.
other at the corner bakery or Starbucks and hang out and we got to catch up.
By the way, the best lentil soup ever. Ever.
Yes. Had it. Yes.
Insane. Insane.
Thank you.
With the leeks, and I tried it. It doesn't work.
No,
For me.
well, it's actually Barefoot Contessa's recipe. It's her warm French lentils, but I modified it. So it doesn't, because there's a lot of Dijon mustard, and I cut back on that. But thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, by far the
I
best.
did make you. You were like sick one time or something, and I made you a batch of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, John.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate that you even remember. 'Cause-
Every time I make lentils, I think of you.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you.
I make
How
lentils a
often
lot.
do you make?
I make at least once a week.
Well, because are you a vegetarian?
Yeah.
And then that's actually
Did
a
you
really
give a
good
recipe?
source of protein.
Did you
for
give
you.
your recipe?
I did not.
No.
I'd be happy to, though. I would be happy to give you the recipe.
I'd probably screw it up. I put water or broth, and I throw the lentils in, and I wait 20 minutes, and then I shut the
Yeah,
thing
there's a
off.
whole process I
That's
do.
like making oatmeal.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Everything I do is like making oatmeal.
When I was little, I grew up in an Italian family, and we always had sauce in the refrigerator, and we were out. So my brother grabbed a can of tomato paste, put it in a pot, heated it up, and goes, "I'm going to do spaghetti sauce because there's like 10 other ingredients you got to put in there."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
my friends would just use ketchup and butter.
Oh.
That was their spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
But I'll give you that recipe.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
What
For
are
sure.
grown-ups?
I don't know.
Oh, it says Pit Boss. I'm trying to think.
He was
Okay.
a pit boss, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're strolling through your IMDb.
By the way, can we
All
get
right.
our guests some water?
Oh, I'm fine.
No, we should have some water, John. My goodness.
Is this for a promotion or?
No, we're not. Just, well,
Thank you. Oh, this looks nice.
it's actually alkaline water. You love alkaline water, so.
And hold on. And we're back in 100. Go.
Can
I
you,
saw the rolling of the eyes there, by the way.
was that
the
good?
whole
Was
audio.
that enough? Was I really?
You have to learn to roll your eyes without tilting
I
your head.
know. Well, it's hard to have big eyes too, so it's like I can't get away. I can't just be like, John Mendoza here in the house. I actually, when COVID first happened, I asked John to
did.
come on, and everybody was still a little bit uneasy about it,
I think
but
the
you're
phrase
here
was,
now.
"No way on God's green planet would I come doing this."
No. I think we were all very, very careful and doing the smart thing. So, but now
Yeah.
you're here and everyone's been vaccinated, and
Yeah.
we're very excited to have you.
The reason I didn't come is because my ex-wife and my daughter are very susceptible to germs, and I wasn't seeing them, but I was hanging out with my son, so I didn't want to get him sick
Right.
and then get them sick. So I was staying away from
No,
people.
I appreciate it.
I got to be honest with you. When COVID first hit, I had to be the happiest person from here. I was so happy. I did not have to talk to people.
Here, here.
I didn't.
You have to stay home for a year? All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
I had no idea that you could go to bed at 5:30 every night. It was absolutely. I didn't have to sit in a bar and listen to stupid people anymore. I loved
I've
it.
seen you at the Kings every now and then. Not
Yeah,
me.
well,
Present company excluded.
Yes, definitely. No, I love it when I see you and Megan in there.
I know.
Yeah, it
It's
always
fun.
makes me laugh.
Sometimes even when I go down, we go to it's a restaurant in Calabasas, and I'll text you and say, "Hey, are you?"
Yeah.
Usually you're walking back home.
I'm walking back home.
No.
I have. Today I accomplished this stupid watch. It was great thing about it is when you drive, it vibrates when you got to make a right, which wakes you up, which I like. Just a fantastic thing.
I'll get you a thing. My first wife gave me this thing that goes on your ear. And if your head tilts 5 degrees, it vibrates and rings and it wakes you up. So
Oh, I don't want to wake up that hard. I kind of like the knob.
We'll set it to 15 degrees. So
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask you more questions because
Okay.
I'm just it's so difficult in this business to have any kind of longevity, obviously, right? I mean, a lot of people will get into the business and even just sometimes the rejection is enough and they're done.
Sure.
And they'll go find another job or they'll fall back on what they wanted to do originally. And so, but you've had this amazing career and it's been a long career. And, but I would love to know what the worst thing a heckler has said to you in one of your moments.
That you couldn't come back from?
I think he's always come back from it.
Oh.
But something that,
Oh, I know exactly what it was. I was working a cruise ship. I needed money for a moment, and I was taking every stupid, ugly job possible. And I took this cruise ship, and it was New Year's Eve, and it was somewhere in the Bahamas, and it was 100 degrees and 100% humidity. And they said, instead of doing the show at 9 o'clock, we're going to do it 7 o'clock. And all of a sudden, they made an announcement, everyone wants to see the show, it's going to be now. And it was like 100 people showed up in this 2,000-seat room, and it was horrible. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. I was bombing so bad. And this guy said to me, "You suck."
You're kidding.
I kid you not. From the middle of the room, I heard this guy. I mean, I had not gotten a laugh at all. And in 15 minutes, nothing. 15 minutes of absolutely nothing.
30 seconds of no laugh is hard.
And I was going through material trying to find something, trying to get some. And this guy yells out, "You suck!" And the only comeback I had was, "You're right."
And they laughed.
No, they did not. They just, you suck. And I went, "You're right." And so when I come off the stage, the entertainment person was just horrible to me. And she said, "You cursed on stage." I said, "I did not curse." And she said, "You cursed 3 times." And I said, "What did I say?" She said, "You said freaking." So I said, "I didn't say freaking. If I would have effing said freaking, I would have known the difference between freaking and effing." And I did.
Wait, she said the word freaking, not effing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I said effing like crazy.
Yeah.
I know at this moment I'm fired.
Right.
But we still have 5 days before we get back to land.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
So I'm still on this ship for 5 more days, and I decided to unload, and I vented my. That's possibly the worst moment of.
And so you
little tip from John Mendoza: if you're going to get fired on a cruise ship, do it on day 7.
Yeah,
not on day 2.
Okay, I got a friend of mine. He went on a cruise, and it was New Year's Eve, first night on the thing, and he turns to his girlfriend that he brings on the cruise with her, and it's a 2-week cruise. They're out in hell knows where for 2 weeks, and the first night he proposes to her,
and she says,
"No." They got 2 weeks together in a small little cabin, half the size of this room. He slept out at nighttime out on the deck. The daytime inside. Yes. 2 weeks of pure.
The good news is by the end of the cruise, she left with somebody else.
But here's the thing: he didn't think that through. Like, he should have thought that through and said, "Okay, well, let's have a nice time."
Yeah.
Day 13 or 14
Okay,
on the way out.
Let me give you a tip from your Uncle Bob. I've been married twice. I've never proposed to anyone ever.
What?
My first wife, my aunt, her partner.
You married your aunt?
No.
You married your aunt?
Yeah. That's how I knew. That's how I knew I was going to get a yes. So my aunt, her partner Barbara, Marilyn, my first wife, and I went down to the jewelry mart. Marilyn picked out her ring. Okay, here you go. Let's go eat dinner.
That's what you said.
No, yeah, and they said, "Don't you get no?" Because I don't give her a chance to say no. Irina, same thing. Jeanette, Irina and I went down. Irina picked out this great ring. Okay, we bought the ring in 6 hours, whatever it is.
You never said, "Will you marry me?"
And I said, "Okay, let's go." No, because they have a chance to say no.
Yeah.
So when
Why do we say no after I get married?
When we're in comedy clubs and we're getting yelled at by the guy on stage, and he says, "Oh, so how did you propose?" Her, never did.
Wow,
Love
interesting.
It. Mm-hmm.
How do you both feel about a girl asking a guy
to marry him?
Yeah.
That sets the tone of the relationship.
Okay.
In the wrong way for a guy. Mm-hmm. Did you ask?
No. Oh. No, I would never ask. No, I would never ask.
Relationships are funny because they're dynamic. When you go to a girl that's really pretty, you're like all timid, but like
3 weeks later, you're like, all right, I got her. Now I get to have some fun.
Oh, is that what
And
happens?
6 months later, you don't have to open doors. A year later, you can
You're
pass
divorced.
gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I don't even want to have a
26 days.
sleepover at this point in my life. Like
Too much work?
just the way it is.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
I was going to ask you. That's one of my questions here. Is what is your perfect woman? Present company
Comes over and
excluded.
leaves at 9 o'clock.
A deaf Asian woman.
Comes over. Oh my
A family lives in China.
Note to
and you
self,
don't have
it's
to see it.
27. We're going to edit
I
that
didn't
out.
say.
I don't. Someone that makes you laugh. My ex-wife,
Yes.
my last ex-wife, by far one of my favorite women in life.
Yeah, you
Makes
guys
me
really get
laugh.
along really
well. Saturday there was a truck down at the Commons, and they had this thing, and I called her up. I said, "Hey, are you at home or are you at work?" And she said, "I'm at home." And I said, "Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes." So it lives up the hill, and I drive up the hill, and there's this little box, and I put the box down, and I open it up, and I said, "Okay, name the TV show." And she goes, "Oh, Ted Lasso."
Oh, great
yeah.
show. Great
Yes.
show. Just started season 2.
Okay, I did too last
Yeah.
night. Yeah. But they were giving away. There was a truck there advertising for Ted Lasso, and they were giving away the biscuits.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
So I brought the biscuits up to the house there. No, I get along fine.
You do get on. I will say this. I'm going to say this about you because I do know this, that you have always spoken very highly of your children's mother, very
Yeah.
highly, and it's this is right here on the air, and you and her have been amazing parents, and I just think you're wonderful.
Well, we had to work hard.
together.
We had to work hard to make
did.
one person very happy. The other person is not so happy.
Well, I think though,
The other person doesn't matter.
My daughter is
no,
not a
that's
fan
not
of
true.
mine.
But you are a fan of hers, and you always speak
Yeah.
highly of her.
Mhm.
And that's the thing is when you come from a divorced family, if you can set your differences aside and still work together as a unit so that your children benefit from
Yeah.
it, that's the important thing. And you guys have definitely done that.
Yeah.
So I respect that. I do.
Yeah.
I think that that's so important.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, but
Yeah.
that's important.
But a perfect woman, it's just someone that makes you laugh and doesn't, the hardest thing for me to be in a relationship, I don't have the muscle to fight anymore.
Yeah.
I do not want to argue with anyone. I don't want a nitpicker. I don't want someone, just
be.
shut up. If you don't like the moment, go into the other room and, it was like
Oh my
a
gosh.
I don't understand why you have trouble finding a
I
woman.
know. It's
No,
so
I'm not
crazy.
looking.
Would you just shut up?
yeah. Oh, no.
When you're married, it's, I'm watching this.
It's yes, dear.
No, I used to do a joke, something like that. I'd be watching TV. You're watching TV with your wife or girlfriend, and all of a sudden somebody kills someone on a thing there, and I go, "Why did he kill him? Did I get here before you?
Yeah.
You shut up and just watch." I can't even. I missed the second half of it, and I got to rewind and start all over
For
again.
those of you who are saying, "Oh, he's just such a blah blah blah," he's not. John is one of the nicest, kindest, really truly caring people I know.
If you don't
And
talk about him.
you wouldn't even ever tell a woman to just shut up. So that's very funny right in this moment. But I
Well,
would
he's been
never.
divorced 3 times. He's told
I've
somebody
told
to shut
someone
up.
to shut up.
The one of them is he got married and then never saw her again for 3. Are you guys
That was
even
a drive.
divorced?
That was
right
a
now?
drive-by. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so more questions because I'm fascinated by you, John Mendoza.
Thank you very
I
much.
do love you, and I do. You are really one of my faves.
Back at you.
Thank you.
Met her at a hootenanny. Was it a hootenanny or something
What's
like
a
that?
hootenanny?
Party.
No. We met at Denim and Diamonds.
Diamond, yeah.
We had a big
yeah.
charity event every year at Denim and Diamonds in Hidden
In
Hills.
Hills. Yeah.
And I met you there years and years and years ago. Our kids didn't even go to the same school.
No.
But we became friends, and we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
And I still get to see you and text you, and you're still my friend.
Thank you.
I'm so
Same
grateful.
here. Yeah.
And I think it was maybe 10 years ago that we did take a drive down to go do a podcast. Probably one of the very first podcasts ever.
Yeah.
And I literally, John, did I invite you or did you invite me?
You invited me.
I invited John. And we get in the car to go because, John's the celebrity.
Rush
I'm
hour.
just a...
Oh,
Rush hour.
yeah.
To Downey.
Which in LA is from 6 in the morning
Downey.
until
I
12
actually
at night.
remember Downey. I've been to Downey twice. Once with my ex-wife to go buy a car, and once to go there with you.
I've been there once. And the whole time I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm driving. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea because
Rush hour.
Yeah. And you know what John's thinking? For every mile we drive out there, it's another mile we got to drive back.
we had the
Yeah.
best time.
We had a great time. And
Yeah,
then
Carrie's
those two guys were fantastic
And
too.
in fact, we'll play the clip here because it's a pretty funny show and it's a very funny clip, and John was hilarious. So
The bad part about it is the guy that's the host of the show lived in Encino.
how do you remember this stuff?
Oh, I have the
world's
worst,
greatest memory.
Yes. I not only can I remember what you've told me, I can take you to the spot where you told me where it happened. Yeah.
What was the name of the podcast?
I know.
I don't remember.
Names mean nothing to me. But I remember just this rush hour, sitting in the car, and her sweating. I could see just, like it was a cartoon. There would be, and she's going,
I was dying. I was like, I have John Mendoza in the car, and actually, like, he's probably thinking, is she hijacking me? Are we going to the desert?
So hypothetically, if you were like, I don't know, like a producer of a podcast, and you wanted to find that clip to put it up on your show, what would you look for? Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's online. If you just type in Cory Oliver and John Mendoza, or John Mendoza and Cory Oliver, it'll come up.
It's definitely Mendoza first.
Yeah, for sure. It is. Believe me, I know this was before Beverly Hills Pawn, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was. And so, like, I was just like, I'm in the car with John Mendoza. Like,
wait, did she karaoke you the whole way down?
No, I didn't.
No. She was frightened. She was so nervous about the fact that we were stuck in traffic, and it was before like cell phones, so you didn't have an idea.
Cell phones.
Before, I mean, well, like the way
we had
now
a BlackBerry.
Yeah, and it was so she's just driving it, and you could just see the pain on this person's face. Go, oh shit, we're never going to get there. We're never going to get there. And I'm sitting there going, yeah.
He took it in stride though, because like, hello, he's been on Jay Leno, Johnny Carson, David Letterman. He's toured the world. He's stuck in traffic on his way down to Downey with me.
Not my first time stuck in traffic.
Right here. Going.
I know.
No, not my first time.
You really took one for the team, John. Thank you. That was a fun show, and we'll play a little bit of it here because it was funny. Another one of my questions that I've never asked you is what. Okay, so comedians, sorry,
that's okay.
They have to get their material somewhere, and a lot of it is your surroundings and your circumstance. So, do your friends and family forgive you when you come up with a joke that they are the brunt of? Do you run it by them first? Do you ask them if it's okay?
Only because I know my family doesn't listen to anything I do. I will tell the story. So it doesn't matter. So I do my first Letterman. And you expect the next day phone calls. Nothing.
Crickets.
Really?
Crickets didn't even call. Less than that. Nothing.
Crickets didn't even call.
2 days later, I finally call my brother up and I go, did you watch me on Letterman? I grew up in one of the lowest, crappiest, disgusting low-income projects in New York City. I grew up in hell. I grew up in a place where I said to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I told him where I grew up, and he said to me, he said, no, you didn't. And I said, I did. He said, you couldn't grow up there. And I said, why not? He said, because no one came out of there alive. And I said, oh, true. I said I could run fast, so I was okay. Wow. But so you grew up in this disgusting place, and you would think your family would be so happy you made it out of this bucket of crap.
We were busy.
Well, not even that. It was like, well, yeah, my brother said, oh, he was a bus driver in New York, and he was, I've been driving, I got you on tape, I'm going to, watch it, I saw it, but I didn't have a chance to call you and stuff like that. I said, yeah, but Mom hasn't called me. And he says, oh, she's pissed at you.
Oh, it was a joke about your mom.
No.
Oh?
No. Well, maybe.
Okay.
So I said, the joke was I'm Irish and Puerto Rican. They didn't know whether to name me an Irish name or a Puerto Rican name, so they named me after my grandfather. My real name is Grandpa. So my brother says to me, he says, oh, she's pissed at you. I said, for why? Sweetie, she says, because you told the world you're Puerto Rican.
Oh. She was the Irish
denying
part?
the heritage is a very big deal,
yeah,
especially when you've
half the
delivered.
Half that city's Puerto Rican.
So my response was, I'm not the one that effed the Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
She's the one who did it.
Yeah, but
and there lies your joke.
But
that's how you come up with your material.
Yes.
That's funny.
Oh yeah. One time, when I was dating my wife in New York City, she lived on a sixth floor of a six-story walk-up, and we were having a fight, and I'm coming down the stairs. I'm like on the second floor, and she's on the sixth floor, and she yells down. She says, "I never want to see you again." And I yell up, "Don't watch Letterman on Thursday." And someone on the fourth floor went, "Oh, that's funny."
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
You heard it?
Yeah, someone was walking out of their opponent. Oh, that's funny. I did a joke about her.
That's awesome.
Something about sex. I forgot what the joke was about having sex with her.
Oh.
And her mother watched the Tonight Show. She was from Louisiana, and she called up and said, she said, "Are you guys having sex?" And she's no. She's really Irish Catholic. No. That's an old girlfriend he's talking about. So there wasn't a Tonight Show spot or a Letterman spot that went by that her mother didn't call up and go, "Are you?
Yeah.
Is he?" Tons of those. Yeah.
It's got to be tough because probably you're basically talking about your life, and there are other people involved. So
I remember one time in we were having dinner in New York, and we're driving up, and my friend is driving, and I'm in the back seat, and a homeless guy comes up to the car and says, "Hey man, can I get $5? My wife just jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, and I need to buy some scuba equipment."
That's a good stick. Yeah,
great line. And I needed a joke for the Tonight Show, so I went. So I was sitting in the back seat, and I handed the guy $50, and I went, "Thank you for the joke." And the guy went, "Whoa!"
He said, "I'm a writer."
And my friend, my friend was sitting in the front seat. He said, "You bought that joke before? I wanted that joke," and I was like, "I just bought it." It's people say things and
well, a lot of comedians will try the material on their family. They'll get them,
I do that
dolls
with my
to
friends.
get down, and then that's
I
what
do
I
that
So
all the
do.
when you go to family dinners, is everybody really quiet around you because they don't want to be in your next
Part
joke?
of the next
I
joke.
don't. I haven't talked to my family in decades.
So that explains.
Yeah.
We now know.
Nah.
One of my
You
favorite
should call
jokes.
them up, say, "Guys, I really miss you, and I need material."
Yeah. You got a good point there, but I don't need material that bad.
No, you write material for people. Commission
I do.
John to write material for shows and studios, and I know you're usually busy doing that.
They pay him.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm painting.
same thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes, I don't know how you thought of this, but I actually was reminded of it last night when I was watching all of your videos again, because I do that randomly, John. Not just because you're on the show, but I do watch your
I
stuff.
thought my life sucked. I haven't watched me.
You're funny. You're one of
Thank
my
you.
faves. The smoking one. I forget where you were when you told it when I saw it. It was, you asked the guy in the audience if he smoked, and he said yes. And then, did you say, "Do you wear a seatbelt in the car?" And he said yes. And you said, "Why?" And I thought that was and the delivery was it's just such.
And you had a great delivery on that joke.
Yeah. I think I've only done that joke maybe twice. I have a joke that I've only done once.
It makes you think, though.
Yeah.
It's like so good.
I did a joke that I only did once in the Montreal Comedy Festival, and it has been in like a lot of books. And I was at the Commons recently, and a guy said, "Hypothetical," and I went, "Really?" I did that joke once, maybe.
I love that.
I said, "What if there were no hypothetical situations?"
It's good. It's
That's
really good.
Hmm?
You know, I can't remember the comic who did it, but there was a guy in the 80s, and he used to call them joke grenades. And he would tell a joke, and he would mind throwing a grenade, and you would get the joke 5 seconds later after he told them. But he had a slew of them.
Oh, yeah.
And they were great jokes that you really had to think about before you would get them. But
Sounds like Jackie Martling.
You know, during
Jackie Martling was too quick.
Yeah.
He was very, very quick. This is
the beginning of COVID, I watched a lot of those 1-hour specials on Netflix of comedians. I'm sure you have like Sebastian Maniscalco. And I was like, why isn't John Mendoza on here? You need an hour special on there. I'm just saying that's
Thank
a
you.
side note.
Yeah, Netflix, get on the ball.
I'm just saying, like, hello. Are you a big fantasy football player?
Of what?
Of what? Are you French now? Of what? I love you, John. Are you a big fantasy football player? Do you play fantasy football?
No.
Any
No.
sports?
Many years ago,
I'm sorry, you don't play fantasy football.
Yeah.
The players play.
Yeah.
I know how they. Well, you still. Okay, what's the word, Bob?
You sit on the couch and say, "My guy just scored 2 points today.
Exactly.
My guy got traded." But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right.
Many years ago, before it was popular, I remember doing the draft. I was working the Desert Inn in Vegas, and I was sitting in my hotel room, and we had like a conference call between all of these guys and stuff like that for baseball, fantasy baseball league, and I love baseball. Of all the sports, it's my favorite sport. But I don't know names. I don't know people's. I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't know stats.
I don't know stats.
Yeah.
All I know is I know every Yankee there is. That's about all I know.
But you're a big golfer.
I love golf.
Do you still golf?
No.
So I took my daughter out to the driving range 2 days ago because she's in town, and she's an athlete, as you know. You've met Ariana, and I am 99.9% certain I threw my bag out on the first swing. Like, you really need to stretch.
Yeah,
Or you don't. I mean, it's not a. It's
or you
not.
start off
not
with
a
less
natural
clubs
movement
and you build your way up. That's my problem. I've got like 3 bad discs in my back, and every time I play, it takes me 3 days to recover.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, yeah.
just not worth it. And I played a lot. I mean, I played a ton.
I know. When did you stop?
Maybe about
This morning.
when my during my son's hell.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he's doing fantastic, by the way. Now he's doing really, really good.
He's a great kid.
He's a
I've
great
met him
kid. He's
several
24
times.
years old.
Very smart.
Everything's crunchy.
These chairs, me too. I do too. I'm just saying. Well, what happened
They
was
used to have arms.
we actually had arms, and I broke my arms on the chair, and then we had
Festus
Festus
broke
Azili, who was
yours.
a former Warrior basketball player. He just went literally. He was like just one little.
Boom.
Yeah, he tore him
Arms
right
went
off.
crazy, yeah.
So the first time that year, so I won, and I won like $5,000, $3,000, whatever the it was a lot of money, and I went, I'll never do better than this.
Retire.
I retired.
Stop at the top.
Yeah.
Yep.
John's got some good luck. You're a blessed man.
I
know. We all have to go through some kind of trial and tribulation.
Yeah.
There's always something that keeps us in check, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that. But still, if you can do what you love, then you never spend a day working in your life.
Sunday was my new birthday party.
4th of the year?
No,
on.
July 25th, 4 years ago, I had a stroke.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
John.
and
right.
and I'm here.
Amen.
So
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
It's my new birthday.
Did you actually have a party?
Oh yeah. I had rice and beans and broccoli.
Yeah, but they have stroke anniversary parties?
Now, I will say this. You are a success story because you really did turn yourself around, like, as far as eating and all that.
Yeah.
You did what you needed to do to stay healthy.
I was 265 pounds 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of COVID, I was 230, and I'm 190 now.
How tall are you?
Which most
6
people
foot.
gained weight
Yeah.
in COVID.
But I didn't. I wasn't eating. I bought a loofah, and it's just dead skin. I just get every day. Every time My Pillow commercial,
Yeah.
the My Pillow
Yeah.
commercial came on, I took the loofah and I just did that for like 3 minutes.
Well, actually, to your point, if you want to go, I will go with you to CJ Grand, which is up off of Balboa in Devonshire, and they do a Korean loofah, and it's a scrub and peel. And do you like to loofah?
No,
Oh,
no,
why am I saying this?
no. There's sound. People make sounds. I don't go any place where people make like
Okay.
nail filing or getting your nails
Oh,
done.
that's right. You
or
have
any-
a little bit of the same thing I have. A little bit of.
A little.
Okay, yeah, that's right. A lot.
Misanthropia?
It's what's that?
You hate people?
No, I love people. It's more of a ADD kind
I
of
don't
a
think John likes
thing.
people too much.
John
I
likes people.
love people. I am amused by people. I have friends that it just comes off the wrong way. I'll be honest.
I love
I
people. I
know
just
it.
don't want to be around them.
I love picking people's brains. I love sitting in a bar and finding out this, that, the other thing about people and stuff like that. To me, that's just fantastic. I just don't. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I do not grasp the concept of overnights. I don't understand the question of long conversations, massages. I don't understand why anyone would want to lay on a thing for 90 minutes
I'm
while
with
someone's
you.
on their back.
I'm with you.
I don't
Don't
get.
touch me.
Yeah.
Please.
I go.
My father, when he got into his 80s, we would be at the house and everybody talking. He'd go, "Okay, it's 8:45. Goodbye, all." And he would just
Yeah.
get up and leave. He's like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Okay, Dad. See ya. So,
My kids laugh at me because I never say goodbye.
right, you're just gone.
I go.
Yeah, you do.
It's-
Actually,
yeah.
you do. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
where's John?
I'm going to see you again.
What happened?
Yeah. And to me, there's a finality about that word.
Well,
It's
sometimes
just-
goodbye is like 10 minutes.
Can you
Yeah.
say see you later?
say.
You'll hear the door
You'll,
shut.
you'll know I'm not there anymore.
I know this about him because I'll be literally having a conversation. Megan and I'll be having a conversation, and all of a sudden, Megan and I are like, "Where's John? Where'd he go?"
Now, how do you do on phone calls
He's
when
across
you
the
say, "Okay," and the guy, "Oh, one more thing," the guy doesn't let you off the phone?
I haven't been on the phone in years.
Really?
I don't. The great thing about Howie Mandel, he hates the phone also. So I haven't. I've seen Howie twice in 2 years. And
Well, that's
we
crazy because
talk-
you guys used to tour all over the place
We
a
did,
year
but
and a
we-
half ago.
Well, yeah, since pandemic, we haven't seen each other. But and the same thing. I don't. First of all, almost everybody I know has someone else in their life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I always feel like I'm interrupting or something like that. So I don't call anybody because I figure, especially on the weekends, my friends will go, "Oh, why don't you call?" And I go, "Well, you got a family."
Yeah.
I fortunately, I live alone. My life is all by myself. And so I never call it. I walk with two guys every morning. We never call each other.
Yeah, but
We show up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I walk every morning.
the
with
guy
them.
with a wife and 3 kids, no, seriously, why don't you call? Why don't you
Yeah,
call?
yeah, probably, yeah. You're
Wow.
probably not wrong.
You can call me John.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say that, but every time I try to call you, you always say you have no social life, but you're always doing something, you're always busy, you're always driving back. And
Very true.
I would say, John, 99 out of 100 times Cory calls me, and we talk to each other 3 times a day, she's in her car heading home.
I'm always
Always in
car.
the worst area. So I think when she gets in her
I
car
am
and she's
always in the
done
car.
dealing with all the people she likes in her life, all right, let me call Bob and get this out of the way.
Yeah.
But it's always like, I'm in a bad area, so it's always bad static and stuff.
Okay,
Where
first
do
of
you
all,
go?
don't assume. Assuming is one of the worst things. There's a book called The 4 Agreements, and number 3 is all about assumption and not assuming. And in life, we can get ourselves into terrible situations if we assume.
Let me tell you something.
So-
Don't avoid the point that you only call me in the car when you're done doing the fun stuff of your life.
That's not
And I
true.
have to go
My,
That's actually not true.
my oldest daughter, same thing. I have not talked to her on land without wheels under her
Yeah,
in
I'm
years.
just always in the car, it seems like. And what's
Where do you
funny?
go? Where do you go?
What's funny though is there's a lot of things that I do, but my friend,
She's an Uber driver.
who's my best friend,
Not a bad
not
date.
an Uber driver, but my best friend, I've known her since 6th grade, and I've photo albums where she'll say, my boo, she calls me boo, always on the go. So it's not like I just started, I'm always in the car. I don't know. I'm always in
Which
the
is not
car.
bad.
Again, where do you go?
Well, I do a lot of different things, and so to get there and here, I have to do that.
Okay, one more time. When you go places, what do you do?
Well, a lot of the times that I'm talking to Bob, I'm actually, and I know she'd be okay if I said this, my best friend, her husband became a quadriplegic almost 4 years ago. And so I go there 2 to 3 times a week to help her with that. And I'm there, a long time. And she lives in the Palisades. So
There's no reception.
I'm constantly, there was no
Yeah.
reception. She's just moved, so she has reception now. But, so it's just in the car a lot.
Where's your daughter living these days?
That's another good point. Thank you so much. She's in San Diego, and I do go down there a lot. I am always going down and visiting her. So she's in San Diego.
Now,
She's
the
home right
other
now.
problem
But
is when she calls you the few times when she's at home, you hear the pots and the pans in the background,
yeah.
the dishwasher and everything going on.
I was talking to my.
I mean, I don't need to call you at all. I'm going to call you, John, because I don't think you'll complain because you don't want to have all this kind of.
Well,
like,
I don't pay attention.
You won't answer the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I'm talking, and she's got a 6-year-old son, something like that, and I'm hearing him screaming in the background, and finally I said, Courtney, are you aware that your son has been screaming for 5 minutes? And she goes, I don't hear him.
Yeah, you tune it out.
Yeah. And I went, call me next year.
that's like Bob and I. That's
We
exactly
tune
how
each
I
other
feel.
out. Yeah.
What's your daughter doing?
She is going to graduate in a couple months. She changed her major late in the game, so she's almost graduated, and she loves real estate.
Oh, wow.
So she's
Okay.
doing really
That's
well.
a good business to go into right now.
She's doing very well. She was in her first wedding. It was beautiful to see. You know, they're all starting to get married now. It's like I remember just being at Round Meadow.
Yeah.
And that's when I met you, was when she was in Round Meadow.
She's going to get married.
My daughter moves out next month. Her mother's very upset.
Where's she going?
She went to LMU, so she's moving down to the marina with a bunch of friends down there, 2 other friends. And
That's close, though.
yeah. But her major was theater and business. So she just graduated, and, a theater major right now is not very helpful.
Yeah, where do you think we're going to go in the industry?
Your daughter, all her friends are getting married.
No, just one.
Oh,
Just one.
Your daughter's going to get married. And then
Of course
she's going
someday
she have a
she's going to get
boyfriend now?
married.
And
She's
you know what
not a
happens when she has a baby?
Can you push that button, please?
Oops.
No.
Yeah, but then you become
A grandma.
Grandma
I'm already
Cory.
a grandma. That's my name. I have a puppy, I'm a grandpuppy. I'm a grandma. That's what we call myself, a grandma. That's all
So she
right.
doesn't have a boyfriend yet?
No, she's doing well, and she's happy, and she's just amazing. I'll show you a picture of her when we're done with this.
Okay.
She's not the little. I mean, it's like I've known you for
Yeah,
that long,
yeah,
a very long
yeah.
time. But she's happy and very funny. You know, she has a little bit of her dad's sense of humor and my sense of humor. So together, it's like so interesting because you and your wife are funny,
Yeah.
very funny. So you get to see that come out in your
Yeah.
kids. So you know your son's very funny,
Yeah.
and I believe he did some stand up as well, didn't he?
He does. He does improv.
Yeah.
But I finally convinced him to get into comedy clubs, and he's having a hard time with it because he doesn't like stand-up comedy. He likes that whole improv kind of world and stuff like that. And he's very, very talented.
I do like the improv too. Improv's that it allows you to be creative, and that was always my favorite part about classes. Was
Yeah.
hey, do you want to go to a class with me? Barnard Hiller, do you know who that is?
I do not.
That's the deal.
Are you driving?
I'll take you.
Okay.
I am your Uber driver for
It's in
that
Compton.
night.
Okay.
No, it's not. He's a famous acting coach, and we just had someone from his studio on the other day, and so
Sandra DeSouza.
John Mendoza and I are going to go do. I've always wanted to play John's wife in something, so we'll just go up there and have a whole scene prepared. We'll show
Okay.
him how it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll show the acting coach how it's done.
Well, we'll just go in and we'll just like here, and then we'll be seen and we're out. I'll write you a script.
Okay. Sounds good
I'm
to
not
me.
going to wear holy jeans, but I will show up.
John has a rule. Any actress he plays with, he has to put his hand down the
Okay,
hole in the
enough.
jeans.
That's no. You know he doesn't. John's very respectful, and he's very, very, very respectful.
But it's what the character would do.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Not John.
Not my husband.
Yeah.
All you have to do is show up,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll get married, and then you just leave.
Oh, been there.
And then I'll
That's fine.
arrange to have a real minister there so you're actually married.
There is. What are you working on right now?
Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But you're writing, right?
No, I'm not doing anything. I write jokes here and there now and then. But as far as this COVID,
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of jokes at the beginning, and
Because it was only the last 3 weeks.
yeah, exactly.
You better be ready.
Yeah,
4 weeks
I
from
was
now,
ready to
it's-
go.
Yeah.
And it slowly, it dissipated into nothing, and I not even sure if I ever want to do this again. I get Social Security, and I get SAG and after retirement stuff like that, and I'm not sure anymore.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? When people just lay it down and say this,
You get 14 phone calls.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
We'll be starring each other, and I'll be playing your wife.
There we go. I hope so.
When
On
you're
something.
around and you think of something, you have a piece of paper or a phone or something, that's fun, I got to write it down.
The worst is when you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
horrible,
yeah. Especially
horrible.
now.
You
Yeah.
walk around or you call someone and go, "What were we talking about?"
Do you remember that joke?
Yeah. Oh, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually that way. I mean, I have 1,000 of these
Yeah.
things here.
Oh, yeah.
And I,
one of my
jot all this stuff down, ideas. And I like short stories also. I was writing a lot of short stories, and I got depressed. Being alone by yourself for, all those months, it's just over and over and over. I walk about 8 miles a day.
Really?
And I just walk.
You're always walking.
I walk 4 miles in the morning. I walk another 2 miles in the afternoon. I walk another 2 miles every night around 7 o'clock. I go out and I walk another 2 miles.
One of the best Rodney Dangerfield jokes. The doctor told me to run 5 miles a day. I called him a week later. I said, Doc, I'm 35 miles from home.
When this is over, I'll tell you my favorite Rodney joke.
We're going to King's tonight, by the way, so if you want to meet us there.
Okay.
I know this won't air until...
Rodney used to smoke pot the way most people smoke cigarettes.
Really?
And you would go to his house, and he would wear a robe with no underwear on, and he would sit there like this. So, what kind of ideas you got today? You got something funny for me?
You know what? That's eye contact the whole time.
100%. 100%. You did not go below his chin at all. You just stuck to this thing like that, and just, oh my God, my neck is going to fall off. I'm in so much freaking pain right now.
We have very good friends, and the guy of the couple is very put together very well. He's older, he's our age, but he's just in amazing shape. He's a stuntman and everything else. So one day I go over to his house to do some filming, and the wife's or the girlfriend's there, just tracksuit. He's there in not Speedos, but not much more than Speedos, because he had just finished wearing. This is a guy who never wears shoes. So I'm looking, I'm like, dude, put some clothes on. I just worked out. Put some clothes on. My neck is like stiff.
Killing me.
And his girlfriend goes, oh, that's just him.
Yeah.
Okay, but put some clothes on. Oh my God.
By the way, you're not even close to my age.
Yeah, sure.
I'm 70.
I'm 55.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
I turned 70 this year.
15 years
Thank
shy,
you.
but
Yeah,
55.
You look great.
You don't look a day over 69.
You don't. You really
you.
look great.
I'm old.
No,
yeah.
you're not.
No, 70 is the new
69.
Yes. I was going to say 58.
Yeah, no. I got old. I don't know how it
you eat
happened.
healthy
Yeah, I woke
and
up
you
one
do
day.
really-
And
Yeah, the weird thing about eating healthy, I went to the VA and I ate healthy for a year and everything's fine. I'm feeling good. I'm walking, everything. And I go get a physical and my cholesterol was like 120 before. And then I stopped. I became a vegetarian. It went to 230.
Yeah, it does.
Everything
It does.
went, ridiculous
Well,
numbers.
can I tell you?
what causes the cholesterol to go up?
So there's a woman that walks in the morning, and she's a nurse practitioner. We stop at Starbucks in Calabasas there, and and we're talking, and I tell her my issue, and she goes, "Do you drink?" I said, "I don't drink a lot, but I drink often." And she says, "Sweets?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So she said, "Okay, stop drinking and stop sweets." So for 2 weeks, only 2 weeks of not drinking and not eating sweets, my cholesterol went from 230 to 135.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 weeks. And my triglycerides went down. All my numbers went back down to where they were prior to that.
I think it's sweets, and I in the beginning of COVID, I became a vegetarian.
Okay.
And about 6 months in, my, faithful are the wounds of a friend. My best friend said, "This isn't working for you." I literally gained 15 pounds because I wasn't
wanna
eating
say
as
it,
much
yeah.
protein. Some people can do it, but if you don't do it right, like you'll go for because you get tired because you're not eating as much protein. So I went for the sweets, and mine was up too because I was eating a lot of carbs and sweets, and so it's very easy if you don't do it the right way to get those numbers that you got.
The thing that the pandemic did the most for me was find out how much money I was wasting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely insane. I go to, during the pandemic, you can cut that in half. I would go to, you go out to dinner, King's, whatever restaurant you go to, stuff like that. It'd be, like $40, $50 for another. I go to Costco, I buy big bags of frozen vegetables and rice and potatoes and fruit.
Yeah.
My friends laugh at me. It costs me $9 a week to eat now.
It does. It's
Now,
true.
are you like me where you'll go to King's and you'll spend $50, $100, okay, and you go home, not even think about it. Then you look at your phone, an app that costs $2.99, you go, I'm not spending $2 on an app.
Oh, yeah. That's like, it's like, getting Spotify or something like that. It's like, I'm not going to pay, $15 a month for, I don't even listen to music. Yeah.
What are you watching right now? I'm always trying to find out what people are watching because I've gone through the whole Netflix gamut. And
Besides our show.
I am so
I don't
tired.
think he's seen any of our show.
I haven't. I am so tired of watching television at this point in the game. If I never saw television again, I'd be happy.
Okay, what do you want to do, John?
Or what do
Well,
you
we're going to
do?
go. We're going to go to, we're going to get you out of the house. I'm going to get you out of the house.
I don't think he wants to go out of the house.
He does. He doesn't
You want to
mind.
get out of the house?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where I want to go. I went to
Take
Thousand. I just went to Thousand Oaks for no apparent reason at all.
Well, that was
We
serious.
sent him the
Yeah,
wrong.
that was-
Well, I don't know what happened.
I sent him the right address. I don't know.
No,
I
you
went-
did. You did.
Yeah.
But for some reason or other, when
Sometimes
a
it'll take
different
you.
address came up, and as I'm driving, I'm going, "This isn't Westlake anymore. I'm like in Thousand Oaks now. Where am I going?" And it's taking me, and then once it said, "Welcome to State Park." I went, this is not.
You
the
guys
right
should go to
place.
By
Corona
the way,
together for a show.
Is that your back card on your homepage?
Yes.
That's hysterical.
What is it?
That's a great idea.
It's my vaccine
Hey,
card.
vaccine.
I think
card.
on his
Yeah.
homepage. Where should we go?
Corona. Go
You
to
mean
what?
Downey?
Oh, Downey.
Oh, Downey.
Downey,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I watch a lot of golf. I walk a lot. I found out now that I can nap 9 times a day
Hey.
and still sleep at night.
Are you watching the Olympics?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's been pretty interesting. I feel very
No.
bad for those guys
But
over there.
in fairness to the Olympics, I never enjoyed the first week
Yeah.
of sports. I mean, I really don't care about floor exercises and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
It's a lot of
You know,
swimming.
it's a lot of swimming. I like the track and field when they get to
Mm-hmm.
that point and stuff like that.
What happened? It used to be so cool on the set. They had the shot put, the javelin, all the Bruce Jenner,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
now Caitlyn Jenner stuff.
Mhm.
But they don't show that anymore.
They
They
don't.
show badminton, which is a really tough sport. Now it's like,
They found out that the audience that is watching is more females than males.
so
Yeah,
they want the gymnastics
They-
and the ice
yeah.
skating and for
Yeah.
the winners and stuff.
yeah. Especially in the first week, it's all young girls watching. I mean, I feel bad for this poor girl that pulled out. What's her name?
Biles.
Biles.
Yeah, Simone Biles.
When you've been abused and stuff like that, I mean, you're there. It's not like she was at LAX and went, I'm not gonna go. She got to Tokyo and sat there and had to. That's got to be a hard thing to do.
Switch went off in her head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah.
I get that though. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can look at it and go, "Wow, why?" But she's won before. She's a gold medalist, I
Yes,
believe.
but
But she's I
part
just
of a
get
team.
it. I get it.
Yeah,
But you
It's
know
tough to
what?
quit while you're part of a team.
There's a jock in you that goes, Michael Jordan wouldn't walk off a court at this moment. Tom Brady would not, at Super Bowl turn around and go, I can't do this. But then again, the fragileness of depression is brutal.
Yes, yes.
I
Although Michael
think
Jordan quit to play baseball. That was a bad move.
He didn't quit to play baseball. He was told to quit.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I thought he retired.
gambling.
Oh.
Oh.
Then how did he come? He came back.
Funny. I was doing a show for his mother, with him, and I was doing the auction, and I hold up Michael Jordan's spikes
Right.
that he wore while he played, and I said, "These spikes are wonderful shoes. You'll love these shoes. Never been past first base." Johnny, that's not
No
funny.
bueno.
That's not funny, Johnny.
It is. If you're
I
not
said,
Larry Jordan's mother.
okay, prove me I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Show me a shot of him in second and third.
I almost died with her.
Ooh.
We were at Pinehurst doing this golf tournament there, and we were flying from Pinehurst to Charlotte in a private jet, and this private jet hit a storm.
I remember this.
And we went flying all over the place.
Ugh.
And there was a guy sitting behind me, and he was a middle linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, and he was praying like crazy. I mean,
Really?
he went full bore Jesus on this thing.
Yeah, well.
And to the point where he pulled out the chair. I mean, his
Really?
wife was behind me. He was against the window, and he was going, "Jesus!" And he pulls out the chair out of the screws.
And his voice went up 2 octaves.
Oh, it went
I mean, is
over.
it that's the power of the Holy Spirit?
Uh-huh.
Been there,
And
been
a
there,
linebacker,
done
yeah.
that.
So after we finally calmed down and everything like that, he said, "You're going to tell everybody that the big Dallas Cowboy wimped out in the sky. Didn't you? Are you going to tell everybody?" And in my head, I'm going, "Yeah, I'm a Giant fan. I don't give a damn about you." And Michael and Mr. Jordan said to me, "John, keep that story to yourself. And I said, okay, fine.
I'll wait to tell it on the Coriolis event.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say the name. So.
But I don't remember his name, for one. And two is, there's a time limit.
Yeah, yes.
You know, that was 90 or something like that.
Isn't that called in
Statute
legal?
of limitations.
Yes.
Statute of limitations.
Yes.
For jokes, 3 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Next question.
Well, we're going to wrap up soon. I know that you have lots more things to do, but
You got to get back to Thousand Oaks.
I can't.
Oh, I got to make red lentils today, which only takes 10 minutes.
I'm going to give you. I will make you some lentils.
No, thank you
I will
very
make
much.
you a batch of those warm French lentils, and I will bring them. We'll drop them off at King's to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to bring soup to King's in a restaurant?
Yeah. Well,
You
this
can't eat
soup
your own
isn't
food
just
here?
soup. You heard it here.
Oh, it's really if you can give him a bowl.
Not only that,
Oh.
my wife and I had dinner over her house. We came home, went to the store next day and bought lentils. And then, so the next day, my wife made them, and you're like, how do you say, oh, they're not as good as Cory?
Yeah.
Well, here's the
So
thing.
the comment, honey, you make so many other good food.
yeah.
You don't have to let Cory make the lentils. You make the,
One of my friends was a celebrity chef.
yeah. You
You
didn't say
hit
the name.
the.
No.
I'm not going to tell who it
Yeah,
is,
you don't
but
get the,
but
you don't drop the name, you don't get the sound
John
effect.
Mendoza.
Yeah.
That's my drop the name thing.
Because
But
John knows this. Jokes are always funny when you explain them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
she said in
Gives you
order
something to do.
she
Yeah.
tastes her food as she goes along. You just take a spoon and take it, and that's the way that you make it really, really good. Is based on a lot of people will.
Who cooks and doesn't taste it while it's...
A lot of people don't. They'll just
Really?
put the recipe together, and then it's not really. So I modify. It's actually Ina Garten's recipe. I have to give you props, Ina. It's in the book Barefoot Contessa. She has amazing recipes in that book, but it's the warm French lentils, and like I said, I modified the. So it's really her.
Is there
recipe.
a lot of butter in it?
None.
Okay.
None. There's olive oil. You done? You leaving now? He doesn't say bye or anything. Just like, see you later.
Where'd John go?
Downey. Anyway,
Two
I will.
wives have said that.
Yes. So, okay. Well, I have a few final questions for you, John Mendoza. John Mendoza is in the house. I'm so excited. You made my day, my
Well, thank
month,
you.
my
Same here.
week. Really, truly do. And in fact, when I go to dinner with my dear friend Megan, who I've talked about her a lot on this show, when we go to King, she literally always says, "Can you text John? Is John here?"
Yeah, you
For
live
John.
close to there.
It's
Yeah.
really sweet.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
The last time I was going to walk in the door and didn't, and I got home, and all of a sudden I saw the text, and I went,
Dang it. Okay, so what are 3 words that describe you?
So you're looking at the wall, John?
Yeah. I can't get this. I'm dyslexic. John,
Slow.
you know this.
slower, stop.
That's good. Yes. Okay. We don't have the Rorschach test anymore because we
Because
got
somebody
rid of it.
took it home.
I did. I hijacked the pictures. It's an inkblot test, and I'm not.
Oh yeah,
a
I
real-
saw that on one of your.
Yeah, I
Instagram
just
thing.
like
Doing it.
no, he's not.
He was.
I
We're
don't
going
think
to
so.
get 5 new pictures.
Yeah. So in
Yes.
the meantime,
Okay. We're
in the
going to do this without
meantime,
pictures?
no.
We'll do shadow
This
puppets.
is wonderful. I'm in.
Yes.
Let's give this idiot
Just
a test with
anything
nothing. Cory.
Cory.
I held up nothing for those who are just audio. Who is, and again,
How many?
how many?
Where do you said what?
No,
How
who
many?
is your
Where?
celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush. There was an actress, I don't remember her name. Other than you?
Employees in the show are not allowed to win.
There's an actress that you don't know her name.
Leslie Ann Warren?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Leslie
She is
Warren, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I get my first pilot, and I'm doing this pilot, and my agent meets this girl, and he's going to propose to her, and he's at the Ivy, and he calls me up. He said they won't deliver flowers to the Ivy. He said, "Could you do me a favor? Could you go to the store? I've got 3 dozen red roses, and could you bring them to the Ivy?" And I went, "Yeah, sure, no problem at all." So I go to the place, and I'm walking into the Ivy, and I've got big flowers like this, and all of a sudden I look over, and there's the guy producing the pilot I'm doing, and he's looking at me going, "You're a delivery boy?" I was like, no, it's for my agent. And so I drop him off, and sitting at the table next to us is Leslie Ann Warren, and the guy she's with goes to the bathroom, and I turned to her and I said, "Hey, listen, before he comes back, you want to go to Vegas and get married?"
Did you really?
Yeah, and she looked at me, she laughed and blew me off.
But she left an indelible mark. That much of an impression that all these years later, I ask you who your celebrity crush is, and that's who you say. So that must be, We can superimpose a picture of Leslie Ann Warren for those of you who don't know who she is.
Hey, you know, I always do that, but when you say it,
She used the word "we."
Wait, you want a young Leslie Ann Warren or what she looks like now?
He's looking it up right now. Yes. Well, I just want to say that this, as your parting gift today, where you are the recipient of the wasabi toothpaste.
Oh.
So this is a
That's
commemorative
interesting.
item that you will have from the Coriolis effect. It doesn't have our name or anything on it, but
You ever see the Johnny Knoxville where he snorts wasabi?
Oh my God, yes.
That's
No,
the
he
most
doesn't.
painful thing I've ever seen.
oh God, can't they kill you? That could go right to your brain.
It really screwed him
It
really
could.
bad. He
Oh,
said
for
it might be the
sure.
stupidest thing that he's ever done.
Absolutely, I would say.
Yeah.
That's not
No,
bueno.
that's no.
Yeah.
It's
It's not even
every
good to put that in your mouth.
No.
yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
John Mendoza,
Yes.
I love you.
Same here.
Thank you
Thank you.
for taking the time to come down today and
I got
be
to hang
with
out
us.
with Bob too.
Yeah.
And Bob, you got to
Yeah.
meet Bob.
Bob's always here.
Where's your wife?
She's sleeping.
Okay.
She's
be up
beautiful.
about, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. No, she's up now. She's waiting.
For this end?
Yeah, so she can run the coffee maker.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'll get to meet her. She's really lovely.
She's our
Okay.
official photographer.
Her name's
How long have you
Irina.
been married this time?
4.5 years.
Wow.
Almost 5.
In a row?
Yeah, without any breaks.
I like to take breaks.
Yeah.
I like to take breaks on mine. I'm sorry.
Well, for you, 4.5 years is what, 25, 30
I've
marriages?
never been really porn.
Who's your celebrity crush?
You, John.
Yeah, that-
Sorry. Yep, you're my
You
celebrity
should say that
crush.
again into the microphone so people can hear it.
John Mendoza is my celebrity crush.
I'm looking at the
John
camera and say
Mendoza, you're my celebrity crush.
that. There's your soundbite in your
Yeah,
picture.
that's it.
Lies, all
Your teaser,
lies.
yeah.
No, I love John. I
Yes.
really do.
Mhm.
We really,
We're good
really-
friends for a long
yes,
time.
a long time, and I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you getting up early and coming down today.
Really? I already walked 5 miles before I got here.
I know. I really
And
do.
walked here.
And drove 12 miles the wrong way. This is the first time I've been past Parkway, Calabasas in
Really?
3 years.
Oh my
I
God.
never.
There's a whole other world out here, John.
I texted
yeah.
him and I said, "Hey, you want to come in?" And he said, "Too far." And then I said, "No." He goes, "Yes, for sure," or something. But
Yeah.
that's a great friend to get up and come and 2 miles past your.
Well, that was the idea of not this show, but the show before this show
Yeah.
was to do a talk show
Yes.
in Westlake because nobody wants to go to Beverly Hills
Yes.
and LA to do
Yeah.
shows. And so many people in the business live
Out
in
here.
Westlake,
Yeah, yeah.
Calabasas, Thousand Oaks,
Yeah.
so let's do it here.
And
One of the
we've had-
biggest. Good.
No, you.
One of the biggest podcasts is right down the street here.
Which one?
Yes.
Rich Roll.
Is it really?
Yeah, Rich Roll is right up in
He's health and fitness.
up in Agora and Agora
Well, let's give him
Road.
a call. He'll be on
Did
next
you
step. We'll
do
a
his
swap.
podcast?
I have not done this, but I didn't know I knew Rich, but we've got a mutual friend, and he stops at Starbucks all the time, and I see him. We chat.
He has a lot of products around town that I've seen at Joy Cafe and Karma and all of
Yeah.
those really healthy
Yeah.
restaurants. He's got a book. He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really great.
Why don't you get him as a guest?
I will. I'll have John call him.
We'll give you 10% of what we pay all our people.
And that is
Nothing.
There we go.
And we're out. Thanks
You don't
for
get to
playing.
say that.
No, I'm sorry.
Now you're going to mess up the editor because he's going to think that's when the show ended and he's going to stop
I'm
recording.
sorry,
None of
but
this is going
I
to air.
do thank you, John. Thank you. Hopefully, maybe I'll see you tonight.
Are you enjoying doing this?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
She doesn't do a lot. She shows up, does the show, and then we do all the work.
Oh.
I'm actually, isn't John my friend? I kind of
Yes,
produce
yes,
it
you do.
sometimes.
You
like all of
kind of.
them.
You're a co-producer.
I saw a piece of the Bob Zaney one. I forget who I saw a couple.
I saw Bob Zaney's stand-up at Dry Bar.
Okay.
And I remember him from back then. I said, we got to get it. Because he lived in Studio City.
Yeah.
So we set him up. Hey, want to come in? Great. So the day before he comes in, I sent him the address. Here's where he goes, oh, I live in Vegas now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But we still did it. But that's when, and it was a great episode. Bob's great.
Yeah.
But that's when we decided that
He's a showman.
yeah, he is. But any comic we have has to be in the chair because there's a delay
Yeah.
on Zoom. And in comics, you're quick. You got to really get in there fast. So,
But it
really
did
push you
sit. The first one of my very first questions was, "Do you know John Mendoza?"
Yeah.
I've known Bob a million years. He used to have an office in Studio City. You walk up these stairs and stuff like that, right on Whitsett.
Yeah. He's the one who said that's how you work the crowd, and he's great with crowds.
Always fantastic with crowds.
Always brings them in.
Yeah. My thing with crowds is shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was being heckled.
I'll beep it.
Oh, I didn't think we were still doing it.
No, we're still on because nobody
You
has
need to
said.
say we're out, and then we'll edit that out. Yeah.
And we're out.
The Coriolis Effect is produced by JS Productions, with host Cory Oliver, producer-editor Bob Victor, and assistant editor Cade Bombsell.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching the Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.